Sorry about that. I just needed to wet my whistle for this lesson. We are going to be doing today Envisions 8.5, okay? So this mini lesson is going to be a lot like the mini lesson that we had 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we went over addition and subtraction expressions, okay? Today, we are going over multiplication and division expressions. We are still looking at mathematical tables, and we are still trying to determine whether the numbers are increasing or decreasing from row to row, and we're looking for a pattern, okay? And once we find that pattern, then we'll be able to know what rule to write down for the expression, okay? All right, let's look at some examples. So here we have two tables, okay? Let's look at this top table first, all right? So this top table, we have the variable b, okay? And the variable b changes digits as we move on down the columns, all right? So let's look at the first column. We have 3 and then 18. Now remember, what we're doing is we're asking ourselves the first question, are these numbers increasing or decreasing? So 3 to 18, what are we doing there? Is it increasing or decreasing? Correct, it's increasing, it's getting bigger. Now remember, it's lesson 8.5, multiplication or division expressions. So we're only working with multiplication or division. So if these digits are increasing, then what operation are we going to be using? Multiplication, correct. So let's go on down the line just to make sure. 5 to 30, increasing. 7 to 42, increasing. 10 to 60, increasing. So our rule today will have multiplication. Now we just need to find out by how much, correct? So 3 to 18, what number do we need to multiply by 3 to get 18? Now, for some of you who know your math facts really quick, you might just think of it off the top of your head and get it right away. Okay? For some of you who might struggle a little bit more with getting your math facts really quickly, and make sure you're working on that, you can always use Extra Math or MobiMax or Splash Learn to do that, or dice games, things like that. This is what you can do. You can always do trial and error as well. So let's say we have 3 and we need to get to 18. You could say, I'm just going to choose a number and let's see. 3 times 2 is 6. Did that get me to 18? No. Let's go higher. 3 times 5, that's 15. Is that to 18? Not quite. So let's try one more. Let's say 3 times 6. Does that get me to 18? Yes, it does. Now again, if you know your multiplication facts and division facts as well as your fact families, this will be a little bit easier for you, okay? But do we just write down the rule is b times 6? Not yet. Make sure that you go on down the columns to see if that's indeed the pattern. So 5 times 6, is that 30? Yes, it is. 7 times 6, does that equal 42? Yes, it does. And 10 times 6, does that equal 60? Yes, it does. Now, just letting you know, another thing that you could do, another strategy, you don't have to do this, but you could look down the rows and say, I know my 5 facts pretty well in multiplication, so let me do that one first, or I definitely know my 10s facts in multiplications pretty well, so I could do that first, but you don't have to. You could always just start with the first column. But anyway, we just solved it. The rule is b times 6, so I'm going to write that down before I forget it. All right. Now, the next table, the variable is z. Okay, z. And we are looking, we're looking at this one right here. Let's go to our first column. Sorry about that, I erased a little bit. Our first column, we have 21 and 3. So remember, what's our first question that we're going to ask ourselves? Are the numbers increasing or decreasing? In this case, it is decreasing, 21 to 3. Definitely 21, a much bigger number than 3, okay? Now, again, 8.5 is just multiplication and division expressions. So since the numbers are decreasing, we know right away it is division. So 21 divided what number equals 3? Okay, you can think of it in two different ways. You can think 21 divided by something equals 3, right? Or you can think 21 divided by 3 equals what number? You could even think like this. You could say 3 times what number equals 21. Although I still would prefer you try to think in terms of division, since we are using a division expression this time. Okay, so 21 divided by what number equals 3? Okay, so let's see. 21 divided by 21 divided by 5. No, that doesn't work because 5 doesn't fit into equally into 21. 21 divided by 6. No, that doesn't work because that's 18 and then 24. 21 divided by 7. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. Excellent. Let's try the other ones and see if it works. 28 divided by 7. Does that equal 4? Yes, it does. 49 divided by 7. Does that equal 7? Yes, it does. And then 63 divided by 7. Does that equal 9? Yes, it does. Okay, so our rule, sorry, I had to write it down over here. Our rule is z divided by 7. Now again, remember, you don't necessarily have to start with the first column. You could say, oh, I know my 7 facts really well, or I totally know the 9's hand trick, so I know my 9's really well. Solve one of them, but then definitely solve all the other ones to make sure that the rule is going to work. Okay, so again, I'm going to write that down real quick. It is z divided by 7 for this one. Now, today and 2 days ago was pretty easy. Remember, 2 days ago, the lesson was just addition and subtraction expressions. And then today, it's just multiplication and division expressions. So you know it's either going to be, the rule's either going to include multiplication or division. You do know that eventually we'll have lessons as well as an assessment that's going to have a mixture of all of them. So when numbers increase in a table, you know it's going to be either addition or multiplication. And if numbers decrease in a table, you know that it's going to either be subtraction or division. So, all right, I hear some voices outside the garage, so I think it might be time for me to go. So, anyway, get that work done. Make sure you press turn in. If you can take a photo and upload it to it, I'd love to see your work. But no matter what, do your best and make a great day.